many of you have taken any kind of music lessons before? Piano lessons. Taking piano lessons. Oh, we've got fantastic. How many, an instrument other than piano? Guitar, drums, learn to play the radio. That's good. It was an interesting thing growing up when I did back in the 1800s. It was a fascinating thing because it was not cool to be a guy and take piano lessons. It just wasn't. I mean, you just did not let that secret out. One chord! Howie plays one chord! And all the girls are like, Howie, Howie, Howie! You know, want to hear more because it's Elton John, right? I, on the other hand, was stuck reading sheet music, which Elton didn't have at the time, and I wouldn't have been allowed to play it in my house anyways. And consequently, over here, I'm going, wait a minute, I know God Save the Queen and Oh Canada. I mean, why, give me some love for crying out loud here. But the fact of the matter was that I was sitting at this bench, and I remember, like it was yesterday, I sat down here, and I just finished my 15 minutes. And I was pretty excited because I knew that this was going to be the last time I was going to have to play for Mrs. Jones. So I was waiting for my cue, minding my own business, and I hear this voice. Don, don't just sit there. Play something. I began to sweat. I mean, I was really panicking because Mrs. Jones is right behind me. And she began to get a little more testy as I sat there and the seconds turned into minutes. And she said, Don, don't just sit there, play something. Now I'm starting to break out in hives because you see, I used up all the material that I possibly knew. I needed notes, my friends, in front of me, paper, and there was nothing. I freaked out, absolutely freaked out. And as the principal and two vice principals began to lead that big parade of teachers down to the front, I played the only thing that came to mind, and that's it. But you see, that started a special relationship with Wendy that carried on for the next 5 years or so. Because Wendy was a special person. She was special needs. And was commonly referred to as having Down syndrome and was told that she would never really surpass the age of about 8 in terms of her mental capacity. I remember Wendy taking control of the room. And she lined us all up, the brother-in-laws. And she says, I want you to stand there. I'm going to rate you according to who's my favorite. Well, we didn't know if we were up for this or not, but we all stood there obediently. And just before she started into her numerical ranking, she looked over at my wife and she said, he's my number 1. And she pointed at me. I have to tell you, that was a red letter day for me. I mean, my heart just absolutely soared. It was like life does not get any better than being on top of Wendy's world. Time's an interesting thing. As it passes, it brings perspective. Perspective might say, God gave this lovely lavender lady 59 unexpected years down here to do what she did best, which was love people unconditionally. Saw a picture recently that my mother-in-law had taken, and it was of Wendy and I walking in the foothills of Alberta, and it was from behind, and I wasn't aware she'd taken the picture, but I had my arm crooked over her shoulder as we walked into the forest. And when I saw the picture, it kind of reminded me a little bit of that lovable bear, Winnie the Pooh, and his best friend, Christopher Robin. And a quote where Winnie the Pooh said, hey, if ever there comes a day when I'm not here, look in your heart. You'll find me there.